Thanks for joining me to color. Today we're going to be working on this adorable CC Designs image called Nancy Gardens. Isn't she cute? The little sentiment here is from the CC Designs Friends sentiment set, and that is not included in the kit, but I did stamp that sentiment for you to use on your card. If you'd like to pick this card kit up, I will put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. Also, if you have a question, go ahead and leave me a comment and I will make sure to get back to you. Otherwise, I have already stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound Solar White cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So let's color. So we're not going to outline our image today because I did on my card, let me show you that real quick, I did these cute little clouds out here, and you can download the cloud template from the right hand side of the store blog, and you can use, I used Ranger Distress ink called Tumbled Glass to make those. And if you need to know how to do that, there is a tutorial in the how-to playlist on how to make those cute little clouds. So we are going to start out by doing her skin. So for skin, we're going to use E11, 21, and 00. And for her cheeks, I'm going to use R02, 12, and 11. So I'm going to go ahead and start with her arm, and I'm going to start with E11. And let's see here. Let's go a little bit underneath of her sleeve, and then away from the edge of her arm. And then over here, I'm going to do under her sleeve and down the edge of her body. And then I'm going to grab E21, and I want to add a little bit to this side. So I'm going to touch down on top of my E11 and bring that out just a little bit. And then the same for over here. Let's touch down on E11 and then brush this color out. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E00. And with this one, I like to go over the entire area, even though I colored the whole thing. Then we'll go up here and we'll do her face. So again, we're going to start with E11. And I'm going to go ahead and do her ear right here first so I don't miss that or forget about it. And she's got another one right over here. So let's go ahead and do that one. And then we're going to do, let's do right here along her little bangs, and then I'm going to go down along the side of her cheek and over here to her neck, and then let's do the back side of this bang and this one, and then let's do a little bit right here, and then I'm going to add E21, and I'm going to go ahead and fill this ear over here in. And then this side, let's add a little bit to this. And then we want to add a line next to her hair. And then I want to soften my E11, so I'm just going to go right along the edge. And be careful here with her eye, don't color inside the white area. I'm going to bring this line out just a little bit. And I also want to give her a little spot for her nose. So I'm going to take my E21 and I'm just going to go like that up to the little point of this bang right here. Okay, and then I'm going to add E00 on this ear. And then I'm just going to fill in her face. And I'm not worried that it's still looking blotchy because I'm going to do some cheek color, and then we're going to come back and add some more skin tone. Okay, so I'm going to do R02 first. Now let's add a little bit of that right along the edge of this side, and it's going to be, I'm going to make it smaller over here, and then over here, and then we'll add R12. And then R11. And then I'm going to go with E21. I'll do a little dab of this over here. And then I'm going to go over the entire face with my E00. Make sure to go over those cheeks so we can soften that color in there. And maybe a little bit more on her ear. And I think I'll brush a little bit right here on this cheek. Got a little crazy with my pink there. For her hair, we're going to use YR20, Y21, E50, and Y35. I'm going to start with my YR20. Let's go ahead and start over here on this side. And I'm just, whoops, let me turn my girl a little bit more here. I'm going to flick a little bit of color down from the brim of her hat. And she's got a little bit of hair showing over here, right here. And then same for this, and I'm trying to go, her hair kind of swoops around to the side, so I want to take my streaks and make them curve around with her hair. And same for this back ponytail, it kind of dips in. So we're going to take our streaks, and we're going to make them go with her ponytail. Then we're going to add Y21. Same thing, we're just going to add a few more lines. And then we're going to add E50. And I'm going to go ahead and just fill the entire area in. You could leave some white on there if you would like. My white tends to look silly, to me anyway, so I tend to just color it all the way in. Every once in a while I'm feeling brave and I'll put a little bit of white in there. And now I'm going to take my darkest color, which is Y35, and just add a few little lines. So I'm going to try to keep my pen more upright. Just add a few little streaks in there. I probably should do one down here on this little section here. And a little ponytail. Now let's do the hat band and the flowers and her little earring. For that we're going to use R27 and 22. For earring I'm just going to dab on a little bit of my R27 and fill it in. I'm not going to mess with anything on there, just do that. And then up here for our hat band, let's do a little bit on this side and this side. And then I'm going to fill it in with my R22. And then for the flowers, we're going to I'm going to go around the center and then do a few little lines out here into the petals. So that one had pretty small petals, so we only did one. So up here, let's just decide how big your petals are and give it a couple little swipes. And how about this one? And around the center of this. And then we're just going to take our R22 and fill the rest of those petals in. I'm trying to be careful not to get my red and my pink in the center because we're going to color that yellow later. Let's go down here and do her overalls next. For that, we're going to use R27, 05, 14, and 22. I'm going to start with my R27. And let's do a little dab up here on the top of her strap. And then for her overalls, let's do behind her arm first. So I'm going to go down the edge of her arm, down to the watering can, and then I'm going to do this little line on her pants. And then I'm going to go up the side of this spout, and then I'm going to do the same thing underneath, and then continue down the leg of her pants. I'm going to go ahead and bring this leg out past the watering can. And then for this side, on the cuff, let's do a little dab on there, and I'm going to think I'll go along the edge of her cuff. And then right here's this little wrinkle, so I'm going to go ahead and exaggerate that. Then over here, let's see, for this pant leg, let's go ahead and add a little bit. Well, let's go ahead and just color that top part in. And then this one will add a little dab. And then up here, underneath of her, in between the can, here is her body. A little bit of pants showing. So let's go right along the edge of this can lip. And then up here, we're going to go right along the edge of her arm. And then for her pocket, let's do a little dab along this edge and the bottom. Then we're going to add R05. And we just want to add a little bit of color to each of these sections. I'm going to fill this little section here underneath of her leg in. And then up here we'll do a little dab on the pocket. And then around the strap. I'm going to go ahead and go even with the pocket over here. So I'm going to add R14. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the top straps. And we're going to bring this color out here to the edge. Leave a little bit of white there for our lightest color. I'm going to fill in this pocket. And then we're going to fill in the rest with our R22. And I tend to go over the entire area. So let's do the watering can next. For that, we're going to use N4, 2, and 0. And we're going to start with our N4. And let's do a little dab underneath of her arm, or her gloves right here. And over here where the handle touches the can. Same for this side. Let's add a little dab over here. We'll add a little bit up here. And then for the top lid, let's go like this. And then let's go down the seam and along the bottom up to the spout. Now let's go ahead and do a little bit around the spout, and we'll go along the bottom. And we'll add a little bit up here to that. And then we're going to add NO2. Give it a little bit more color. And let's bring this color over here. Then we're going to add N0. we're just going to fill it the rest of the way in. Get rid of a little bit more of this line. I'm going to rub it over here in the dark. Kind of push it towards the dark section, and that will push some of that ink back. For her gloves and her boots, we're going to use G02, YG41, and YG11, and for the sole of the boot, we're going to use G19. So let's go ahead and do that first. I'm just not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to cover that up. And I think I'll give it 2 coats, so it's a little bit darker. Then we're going to add G02. So let's go underneath of her pant leg and down the back of her boot. And then I'm going to go right along the sole here. Same for this side. Let's go under her pant leg and along the back and along the sole. Then we're going to add YG41. Bring this out quite a bit further. And over here, we're going to bring this out. And then I'm going to go over the entire thing with my YG11. And this will give them a little bit of a yellow. And then we'll go up here and we'll add some to her gloves. So again, let's go with G02. And this one, let's go down here. And then we're going to do each of her fingers a little bit. Oh, and I better do this little crease right here. Same for this side. And then we're going to add YG41. And then YG11. Let's hop up here and do the center of the flowers. We're going to use Y38 and 21, and I'm going to start with Y38. I'm going to give this one down here a little dab, and then these, let's go up from the center, and this one will go down up from the bottom, and this one I'm going to do a little bit around this where it's touching the other flower and come away from there, and then I'm going to add Y21 to fill it in. And then I'm going to go back with my Y38 and add a little bit of that dark back in. And I'm also going to use this color on the clasps on her overalls. Let's also do the button on her shirt. Then next we're going to do her hat. For that we're going to use E33, 31, 30, and 50. I'm going to start with my E33 and I'm going to use this on the underside. So let's cover this back one up, and then over here we're going to pull down away from her hair a little bit. And right here's a little dab of hat that I'm going to fill in. And then I'm going to take E31 and fill the rest of this in. Then for the top of the hat, I'm going to again do my E31 first. Let's go ahead and go along the back, and then over the top of the flowers and along the hat brim. And then for the bottom, let's flick up from this corner and around, and then let's go around these flowers. And along the hat brim. And then I'm going to bring this color away from the back. Then I want to add E30. So I just want to go right along my E31. And then I want to go over the rest of it with my E50. And I like to tend to go over the entire thing. So let's just go from this way, swipe up, cover up that one little spot there, and over to the other side. And then I think I'll take my E33 again and just make this a tad bit darker underneath. And then my E31. For her shirt, I'm just going to add a little bit of my C00, and over here on this side, I'm going to go up the edge of her overalls, and there's a couple of lines there that I'm going to exaggerate, along her collar, and then we'll go across the top of her overalls and up to her collar. And over here, let's do along the back of her collar and along the edge. And then for the shirt sleeve, let's add a little bit, and there's a little wrinkle right here, so I'm going to bring that up. And then I'm going to color in the underside of her shirt. And then I just left it like that. So that leaves us with the ground. For that, we're going to use G20, 21, and 28. And I'm going to go ahead and start with my G20. And I want to go past her boots, so let's go up here, and then we'll flick this out. Let's go across over here. It'll go right from her edge of her boot. And then I'm going to add G21. And then I'm going to go back over that again with my G20. And I think I'll add a little bit more of my G21. I go ahead and give it a little bit more of the lines in here. They stand out just a little bit more. And then I'm going to add a few grass blades. So I'm going to do that with G28. Let's hold it like this, and then I'm just going to set my pen down and just make a few little lines. Maybe a little bit more over here. And I'm going to add a little bit of my G21 in my grass too. So let's go ahead and flick a little bit of that up. And I want to make some of them longer because I'm going to give some flowers in here. So let's go ahead and do this and bring some of them up just a little bit more. Maybe this one needs to come up a little bit. And then later I took my Spica glitter pen in lavender and I just put some dots along these stems that were up past the grass level. So it gave them some little bit of flowers. So there's our beautiful Nancy Gardens all colored up. Didn't she turn out cute? I love her. And then again, here is the finished card. So on my finished card, I added some Spica glitter pen in clear to her hair, of course, to give it some sparkles. And then I did some lavender, again, down here on these little flowers. I added some dots down here to some of the grass stems so there could look like there was flowers there. And then I think I did a little bit of my Spica glitter pen in the center of these little flowers up here. And again, the clouds back here are done with the cloud template on the right-hand side of the blog and some tumbled glass distressed ink. Then she's popped up on some pop dots, this whole matte section, and these clouds are popped up, and the little sentiment is popped up. And when you get these little clouds in your template, make sure that the pink piece is with the right white piece because they are different. I discovered that myself when I tried to glue one to the other one that didn't go there. So make sure to check them before you start adding the glue. Otherwise, you're going to have a huge mess. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, make sure and leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.